Okay, today's video is about the hot water tank. In the Braxton Creek group, there seems to be a lot of questions about the hot water tank and getting water in it, as I'm sure there are with all RVs nowadays. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a couple ideas on how to find out if there is water in it. And then at the end, I'm going to give you a couple ideas on how to shut your hot water tank off once you have it filled and have been using it a while. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to, of course, either be hooked up to city water or we want to have our water tank full. Now, the first way to find out if the water tank is filling or not is if the water tank has no water in it. Then what we want to do is we want to turn the hot water spigot on and we want to turn the water pump on. Now, if the water tank's on bypass, then you will have water in about 30 seconds coming out of the spigot. So what that means is that the hot water tank is not filling with water. So what we need to do then is take a look at the bypass valves on the hot water tank. You have the hot water tank, which is that silver thing right there. On the back side of the hot water tank, you have fittings that come out like that. This fitting right here is one of the bypass valves. To use the water system in the trailer, this valve here needs to be pointed up so the water can go into the hot water tank. If this valve is down flat like that, then that means that it is turned on bypass and you will not get any water in your hot water tank. So to use it, this valve, it needs to be up like that right there. Also, there's another one, if you can see it over there. There's another valve right there. Let me stand on my head here. There's another valve right over there. And it is the same way. It needs to be pointed up to use the water system or to get water in the hot water tank. If it is laid over flat, then it also is in bypass. Okay, so if the water tank bypass valves are both in the correct position, then it will take quite a while for the water to come out of the spigot. As you seen earlier, it took about 20 seconds and you had water at the spigot. You're filling a 6-gallon hot water tank, it takes a little bit of time. It's always a good idea when you're doing this to open a hot water valve so that the air can get out of the system as the tank fills up. Okay, so as you can see, we have a stream of water now. It took about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to fill the hot water tank with water. So now we just want to make sure we get the air bled out of it. Okay, so we went through all that, but you're not 100% sure if you have water in your hot water tank. I'm going to show you a way to make 100% sure that you do. It is not a recommended practice. Okay, so what we're going to do is we want to make sure we have the water pump turned on, or you have your city water pressurized. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take this lever right here, and we are going to slightly pull it out. And as you can see, there is water coming out, which indicates my water tank is full with water. Now, we're going to go in and light it, and I'm going to show you a couple of tricks with that. Okay, so the first thing I want to share with you is lighting the hot water tank when everything is cold. A thing that I started doing is when I get ready, I make sure I have the air bled out of my hot water system. Now, once I have that done, I turn the water pump off, or I turn the city water off. And then I turn the spigot on and let the pressure drain off of the water system. The reason I do this is as the water in the water tank is heated, it expands. If you have 50 pounds of pressure in your plumbing system and you heat the water up and it expands, then what happens is you will have an excessive amount of pressure in your plumbing system. So now that the pressure's bled off, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kick the propane burner on and heat the water up. Okay, just to show you, this is how much pressure has built up in the water tank just by the heating of the water. Now I still have the water pump turned off. Okay, so the next thing that I do is when we are done with our camping trip and ready to head home, or if I'm going to drain the hot water tank, I take the shower nozzle and I actually fill the bowl with water in the toilet. Now, if I'm at a campground, I'm going to dump my black water. I usually go ahead and dump my black water, and then I do this. One thing is it helps flush out the black water tank. The other thing is it helps to cool off the hot water tank. You want to make sure that before you do this, however, you do shut the hot water tank off on the gas and the electric. I usually do about 2 bowls when I do this. Okay, there's one other tip I want to share with you, and it's kind of a neat one. If you're set up the campground, boondocking, or the campground or wherever, and you're going to take off for the day and go hike, sightsee, or visit or something, it's a good idea to turn your hot water tank off, both gas and electric. It's also a good idea if you shut your water pump off or your city water hookup off. You never know when plumbing's going to spring a leak, and usually it's right after you leave. I hope this helps out with the mystery of the hot water tank. Please subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.